of the Council, please.
Merci.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, dear Justin, dear Ursula, it was a special pleasure yesterday to have this bilateral summit with Justin Trudeau and his team. They are, of course, essential allies of the EU. We share very solid values. We believe in multilateralism and international cooperation. We believe in the rule of law and fundamental freedoms. There were 4 points on our agenda last night. Of course, we focused on the need to continue to combat the COVID pandemic and to make sure that we see the necessary economic recovery afterwards. Then there was climate and environment, then trade, innovation and digital matters, and finally, foreign affairs and security.
Defeating COVID-19 remains our top priority. The EU is the largest exporter of vaccines, and we've exported roughly half of our production of vaccines. We have supported Canada's vaccination campaign by shipping roughly 16 million doses to Canada. This represents 60% of all vaccines received by Canada, and until a few weeks ago, it was as high as 80%. With Canada, we are stepping up our efforts to ensure universal access to vaccines, diagnostics and treatments, and the EU is a top contributor to COVAX with 3.2 billion euros. We also plan to share at least 100 million doses of vaccines by the end of this year, and we have mobilized 1 billion euros to increase global production of vaccines in developing countries. We also took the decision to launch a new Canada-EU dialogue on health. And when we speak about the future, that also means being better prepared for future pandemics. We are working together to strengthen the WHO, and I welcome Prime Minister Trudeau's support for this idea of an international treaty on pandemics in the framework of WHO. The EU and Canada are also banding together to ensure a green, innovative and inclusive recovery that creates good jobs. We support global efforts to provide additional support to low-income countries to recover.
We also dealt with the issues of climate change. We've been focusing on this common objective and climate neutrality by 2050. And I'd also like to point out we had quite a lively debate yesterday on two very important issues, the question of carbon pricing and the need to work together to make sure there is some convergence on the way we reach these ambitious targets. And connected with carbon pricing, green finance. We have to achieve a convergence there in terms of some common standards to mobilize the financial capacity of the private sector, thanks to clear objectives set at political level, national and international level.
We're the 5th anniversary of the signing of CETA. This agreement is good for our citizens, for our businesses, and for our economic recovery. And we see eye to eye on the need to strengthen, modernize, and reform the WTO for the future. Moving forward, we must ensure the security of critical minerals and metals value chains, and we agreed to launch an EU-Canada strategic partnership on raw materials. We'll continue to enhance our cooperation on research, innovation and space. Et enfin, nous avons eu...
And finally, we had the opportunity after the intense debates, of course, over the weekend in the G7 context in Great Britain, to look at international security. I'd like to reconfirm our commitment to international cooperation and multilateralism, and our belief, our conviction that we are at a time now in history when democracy, liberal societies need to stand strong and defend their values, their fundamental values, because not only because we are under some pressure from authoritarian regimes, but also to show that the model of cooperation is effective and makes it possible to improve the lives of citizens in the long run. And we had a look at some regional issues more specifically, and of course we can answer questions on that. Clearly, the relations between the EU and Canada are close and solid, and the meeting last night certainly was an occasion to give it new impetus and identify questions on which our teams will be working over the next few months. So there are open, permanent channels of communication with Canada. And we agreed to strengthen that even further because we believe in the usefulness of this cooperation to the EU, to Canada, but also to make headway with matters of international interest.
Madam President, you have the floor.
Thank you so much.